Good morning, everyone. My name is Zhou Shenyan. Today, I will introduce my research on using dramatic activities to improve gender equality education for students with moderate intellectual disabilities. The content will separate four parts. The first one is introduction. Then I will share my methodology. The third part is research. And final is reference. Introduction. It has been over 20 years in Taiwan to develop gender equality education. Lots of singers in Taiwan got Golden Melody Awards and their songs are concerning gender equality. For example, famous singer Jolin Tsai has famous song Rose Teenager. The song Rose Teenager is discussing the sexual issue. Gender equality education is rooted in sexual harassment and sexual assault in 90s era in Taiwan. Until 21st century, the government legislated and made a new law to protect people from the sexual harassment and sexual assault. Therefore, Ministry of Education in Taiwan defines so-called gender equality education refers to develop more different aspects for gender diversity, eliminates gender discrimination, and advance gender equality by education. With limited sex education provided at school and the lack of teaching of parents in discussing sexual issues at home, as a result, students with intellectual disability would be able to receive insufficient information on sexuality and they even would be invalid in the future. There are numerous researches doing the study on sexual education of intellectual disabilities. The study reports that a special education teacher support the issue of teaching students with ID sexual education. Therefore, the researcher conducted a single subject experiment to improve gender equality skills for students with moderate intellectual disabilities. The aim of the article can separate three parts. A. Using dramatic activities approach improve the skill of rejection when he or she faces the sexual harassment event. B. Using dramatic activities approach improve the skill of escaping after he or she rejects someone. C. Using dramatic activities approach improve the skill of illustration, or we can say telling, after he or she escapes the spot. Okay, the second part is methodology. I will share my methodology to you. The first one, I will introduce my participant. My participant can separate two parts. The first part is a boy who is 14 years old and studying in special education class and in junior high school. The boy is moderate ID, therefore his IQ score is between 40 into 55. And the student has special education needs. The second part is teacher, or we can say researcher, because the teacher and the researcher is same in this study. The teacher is a special education teacher and teaching in junior high school. And the teacher major in drama therapy, creative drama, and special education in the graduate program. Okay, next one, I will introduce my setting. Dramatic activities means the act include audience in the team. So, teaching this activity in special ed class and the researcher invite the participant as an actor in this study. The next experimental methods are classified as changing criterion designs. Besides pre-test, the formal test, the researcher used the changing criterion designs to collect the data and data analysis. So we can see this table. A1, A, B, C. A means baseline, B means intervention, C means maintenance period. In C1, because of changing criterion designs, the C1 is equal to A2. The C2 is equal to A3. Okay, About dependent and independent. So-called dependent can separate three parts: rejection, escaping, and telling. The rejection means when he gets sexual harassed, he will tell the perpetrator his feeling and say, "Don't touch my body." Escaping means after he rejects someone, he will escape the spot as soon as possible. The final, telling, means to tell his parents or teachers what's wrong with him. And independent is dramatic activities. In the dramatic activities, the script is added by researcher and other students, no participant. And the act is to invite the participant to act. The result, we can see this table. A. Using dramatic activities approach improve the skill of rejection. We can know, based on visual analysis, the gap between baseline and intervention is 26. And based on visual analysis, the gap between baseline and maintenance is 17. And effect size, both baseline and intervention and baseline and maintenance are strong effect. The second, using dramatic activities approach improve the skill of escaping. Based on this figure, we will know based on visual analysis, the gap between baseline and intervention or baseline and maintenance, both of them are positive. And effect size, IRD, is a strong effect. The final, using dramatic activities approach improve the skill of illustration or telling. Based on visual analysis, the gap between baseline and intervention is 13. The gap between baseline and maintenance is 7. But effect size, IRD, is strong effect in maintenance and intervention. The IRD is chance effectiveness is baseline and maintenance 3. So the conclusion, a special education teacher or a general teacher can use dramatic activities to teach students with moderate intellectual disability when he or she needs this requirement to gender or equality education. Second, using dramatic activities is an effective teaching strategy to teach students with moderate intellectual disability. This is my reference. Thank you for your listening.